How's it going, guys? Tash here with another Can You Game on It? This week we are reviewing the sharpest laptop on the planet. I'm talking about the Razer Blade 15 Advanced Model 2020. I'm not kidding when I say that this is the sharpest laptop on the market. You see this? You see the stats here? Yeah, this be pretty sharp. Anyways, play the intro. Alright guys, before we jump into the golden question of the day, which is Can You Game on the Razer Blade 15 Advanced Model 2020. That's a long name. And as they say, anything with a long name means it must be really good. Okay, seriously though, in terms of design, this laptop comes with a very minimalistic, sleek, and classy design, which I really like. The back here, there is the iconic green Razer logo where you can flaunt your Razer pride. By the way, this is lit up. Unfortunately, the back isn't customizable, but if you want to talk about customizations, the inside, which is the keyboard, is what you are looking for. Each key is customizable via the Razer Synapse, which is really exciting. So inside is something of like your own personality, and outside is the Razer pride. Okay, moving on to the user experience, how I felt about using this laptop. So as you can see here, the keyboard is rather flat. This is because this is a rather thin laptop. So that's why the keyboard is flat. But personally for me, I'm not a big fan of the keyboard because it just felt too flat and it doesn't feel like there's any elevation or height for my wrist. So I got kind of tired writing on it after a while. But I do like that the keys do give some kind of feedback when pressed. As mentioned in the intro earlier, the name Razer Blade is such an apt name for this laptop because of how sharp the sides are. Okay, so for me, I love to rest my hand over here or over here when I'm gaming or just doing random stuff. And I do like to slide my hands around once in a while. And oh my gosh, it feels like my skin is being cut open, being murdered on the inside. No, not really, but it is rather uncomfortable because this side here especially is pretty sharp, and if someone has like really thin skin, I wouldn't be surprised if this actually does cut them. So watch out for that. Alright guys, now for the specs. So this laptop comes with, as you know, beefy specs with the RTX 2080 Super Max-Q graphics card packed alongside an Intel Core i7 10th Gen CPU. Yeah, that's a lot. And to top that off, you have 16GB of RAM as well as 1TB SSD. So it's gonna be fast, it's gonna be powerful, and you know what? To kind of show off all that power, heck yeah, they decided to give us a 4K UHD touch display. Yes guys, touch display, which is really interesting for me because when I think of a gaming laptop, I never really think of a touch display, but here it is. Just so you guys know, it does come with a 60 FPS display. There is another option of this laptop available at 1080p with 300 FPS. So if you guys are just going to be gaming entirely on the laptop, I highly recommend that one. Alright guys, let's talk about the battery life. This laptop does come with a 4-hour battery life, and honestly, it's not exactly the best in terms of battery longevity, especially if all you're doing is just listening to music, browsing the internet, or even just watching videos. But there's a reason for that. It's because of the 4K UHD touch display. It's gonna take a lot of battery, especially since it is an OLED display. Alright, now the meat and what you want to know most about the Razer Blade 15. Okay, starting off, let's talk about benchmarking first. So benchmarking, we used Shadow of the Tomb Raider as usual, and we tried in 3 different modes. So the first one is the highest graphics with 4K resolution as well as high ray tracing. So for this one, it only managed to pump out 20 FPS, and wow, the heating is actually pretty bad. it was at 89 degrees Celsius. Next one, we tried out 1080p with high ray tracing, which is basically the standard for what most gamers would use. And this one was actually a lot better. It had 43 FPS as well and 83 degrees Celsius in temperature. While it does run great, I wasn't too happy with the heating still. Last one, we tried it on 4K resolution with ray tracing off just to see if this laptop can run on 4K for gaming. And let me just tell you guys, no, because it only managed to pump out 19 FPS and had 80 degrees Celsius temperature. Okay, moving on to the next game, we tried out Resident Evil 3. So Resident Evil 3 was smooth. I played it on 4K, Ultra HD with high graphics, and honestly, it was so beautiful. It actually ran a lot better than my current PC at home, which I'm kind of pissed about because playing the game was actually beautiful, and I got to see Jill in all her glory in high definition. Those Hakuna Matatas, don't put that in, please. Okay, overall, gaming on this does yield around 87 to 90 degrees Celsius in temperature. Then that's on turbo mode, which means I have bumped up the fan to the highest possible. Now, if I were just to leave the fan on default mode, it will hover around 91 degrees Celsius when gaming. That's actually quite alarming in terms of the heat. Now, on idle, the laptop usually just hovers around 60 degrees Celsius, which is not too bad, I suppose, but personally, I would rather see it hovering on 40 degrees. There is one feature that I'm really excited to talk about, which are the speakers. If you guys didn't know, these speakers are done in collaboration with Dolby. If you guys don't know, Dolby is a huge name in the world of speakers. They actually make speakers for the cinema. Yes, that Dolby. Anyways, the speakers for this, you can see over here, it's on the front of the laptop and it is amazing. It's loud, it's full of body, the bass is, I just don't know what to say. It's just wonderful. If you're playing a game on this without headphones, you're gonna have a good time, 100%. You're watching movies, watching some Netflix. Yeah, speaker is great. Use the speakers. They're really good. Golden question of the day is, can you game on the Razer Blade 15 Advanced Model 2020? That's still a long name. Yes, you can. Well, personally for me, I feel like gaming on this particular model is not as great as gaming on the 1080p 300Hz display model, because this one is a 4K UHD touch display with only 60 FPS, which most gamers likely will not enjoy when gaming on it. Unless you are content creators or entertainment enthusiasts, only will I recommend this variant of the laptop. Either way, the laptop is quite pricey, with the price starting at 8,999 Malaysian ringgit. Whew, long name and big price tag. Anyways, I'm Tash. I'm gonna go and play video games and make sure that I don't cut my hand on the sides of this Razer blade. Just like how my heart was just cut recently, because I'm forever